Hi, I'm Sean Rosinko from Progress, and thank you for joining. The topic, of course, is digital experiences. So the move to digital has happened very, very fast, especially over the last 12 to 18 months, where we've seen 3 to 5 years worth of digital transformation condensed within this very short period of time. It's caused changes in how we work together, how we interact with each other, how we do business. And for many, if not all, I'm sure that this pace of change has been the source of some stress. So are we keeping up with the competition? Are we meeting our users' expectations? Are we set up for the future? These are all things that many of us have been acutely aware of, been on our minds over the last 12 to 18 months. And I think first and foremost, it is important to recognize that at some level and at varying degrees of sophistication, our organizations, have been delivering digital experiences. So we can, just try to breathe a little bit easier, because too often we get caught up in, trying to build this digital utopia and expect to already be at the top of the hill. But we're already on our way. The truth is, delivering a connected, cohesive digital experiences across channels, across touch points is difficult. There's a lot of complexity to it. It requires cross-functional buy-ins. Solutions in market have typically been fairly expensive, especially for mid-market organizations. There's just a number of barriers that have been preventing us from evolving our digital experiences at the pace that we'd like. So really the key to reaching that sophisticated digital end state is just understanding where to get started, where we are today, and how to take a step-by-step methodical approach. So we're here today to tell you how you can do that, how to offer a new and practical approach to building those digital experiences that will give you a competitive advantage. And so we have 3 discussions on the agenda today. First is from Ben Dickey. Very happy to have Ben Dickey back with us, principal analyst from Infotech. Ben will discuss the evolution of content management and how you can capitalize on the latest digital experience platform, DXP trends, and best practices. And then we'll be joined by Lino Tadros. Lino is Microsoft Regional Director, an executive consultant, as well as a Sitefinity MVP, who will discuss the best place to start on your path to digital maturity. And then finally, at the end, I'll come back and rejoin the conversation with an exciting announcement that Progress has on our vision for the future of digital and essentially how to get there. So with all of that, here is Ben Dickey from Infotech. Ben, take it away.
Thanks, John. My name is Ben Dickey, Research Lead with Infotech Research Group, and this afternoon I'll be leading us through a session on why it's time for your website to evolve. As our lead for customer experience strategy here at Infotech, I've covered a wide variety of application categories in the MarTech space, from digital experience platforms to CRM to marketing automation tool sets. One element remains true. Your website is a critically important channel for customer engagement. Today, we're going to explore why digital experience matters in a connected world. We'll talk a bit about the DXP platform as a key enabler of delivering world-class customer experiences. We'll look at what are some of the key trends that are occurring in the DXP landscape. And finally, we'll talk about pillars of success. What do we see from our Infotech members that dictate whether they succeed or fail when we talk about digital experiences? Your website is your organization's front door to the world. Whether you're engaging with prospective customers or delivering e-commerce or service experiences to incumbent customers, the web remains an absolutely critical channel. It's important that organizations have a concerted, forward-looking strategy to support digital experience over the web, and also make the appropriate technology investments to support a world-class customer experience online. A strong approach to digital experience matters for your customers. 87% of customers that have had a positive experience online will share that experience with others. A study by Qualtrics found that digital leaders in the S&P 500 outperform laggards by 80%. The need to have a strong digital profile has only sharpened with the COVID-19 pandemic, as many experiences that used to be in person or face-to-face have migrated to an online arena. Infotech queried our customers about what are some of their top drivers for investing in strong digital experience. And there's 7 drivers that we identified. The first is investing in your web presence as a mechanism to boost the perception of your brand online. The second is using better digital experience as a hook to acquire new customers. The third is improving the satisfaction of your incumbent customers. The fourth is providing better online customer service and customer care. The fifth is reducing the cost to serve those customers online. So think about call deflection. A lot of organizations, particularly during the pandemic, have also articulated a need to sell products directly online to their customers and consumers as well. Finally, we hear from a lot of our members that their web presence is difficult to navigate. Searchability tends to be another key arena that we see organizations invest in, making the information architecture and searchability of information on their site significantly better. Today's digital experiences cross many different channels, not just the traditional web, but also mobile, social, conversational UI, e-commerce portals, self-service portals. It's imperative that organizations have an omnichannel approach to thinking about how they deliver experiences through different digital modalities. Now, I'm sure we've all heard about omnichannel, this notion that you need to have a consistent, well-oiled approach to delivering content, experiences, products, and services across all of these different online channels, these different online modalities. What we've seen is that especially during the pandemic, a lot of organizations have started to take omnichannel much more seriously than they once did. So while omnichannel as a concept has been around for a while, the realization of benefits from omnichannel has started to markedly increase. A few years ago, Huffington Post did a study that found 97% of organizations were investing in omnichannel, but only about 23%, so just under a quarter, said that they were doing omnichannel well. As organizations realize that this has been a historical pain point, investments in cohesive technology sets and the organizational governance structures to make omnichannel a success have been a rapid area of focus for companies in both the private and public sector. Now, I've mentioned the impact of the pandemic a couple times already, and I think there's a few more points that bear mention here. Digital strategy has always been important, but the pandemic has accelerated the pace of innovation on the vendor side and the pace of investment on the organizational side when we talk about a digital strategy. As many experiences shifted away from in-person or storefront experiences, organizations found themselves having to rapidly scale up their digital presence to compensate. E-commerce was a particular area of emphasis for many of our members. Of course, especially those in retail or sectors that were predicated on face-to-face experiences. The other thing that we found is that customer habituation to digital channels has rapidly increased during the pandemic as well. Customers effectively are now more familiar with different online channels, such as embedded live chat. They're more habituated to making purchases online. So not just on the investment side for organizations, but also from the customer affinity side, we've seen this market increase in the affinity, again, the popularity of different online channels, and organizations are making investments to respond adequately to that. One other trend that we saw is that a lot of our members took budget out of what I'll call keeping the lights on initiatives like ERP or HCM and shunted those budgets into investment in digital tools. A lot of pilot projects that organizations had on the go, especially in areas like chatbot or conversational UIs, things that, in the old world organizations thought of were, interesting pet projects, saw a marked increase in investment as well. So this shifting of budget away from more back office or transactional systems into digital experience is something that Infotech has seen quite frequently over the course of the last 18 months. When we talk about successfully executing a digital strategy, there's really 2 key pillars that you need to address. And the first is building out what's the strategic drivers that we have for digital experience. This is looking at who are our key customer personas, what are the customer journeys that we need to support those personas on, and what are the key performance indicators that we want to target to make sure that we're tracking, are we moving the needle forward on digital experience? So are we increasing share of wallet? Are we increasing customer satisfaction scores? Once you've defined your business drivers for digital experience, the next step is looking at technology architecture. What are the applications, tools, and systems that we need to have in play to adequately meet those objectives that we outlined? And this is where the notion of a digital experience platform comes to the forefront. It's an indispensable tool for orchestrating content and experiences across multiple channel endpoints. So let's clarify some nomenclature here. Historically, the systems that powered your web experience were branded as web content management systems or web experience platforms. There's a lot of vendors that use the term DXP in the marketplace today. But the crux of the idea with a digital experience platform is that it's a system that manages and curates content and disseminates that content to the right audience at the right time in the right channel. Digital experience platforms are mainly coming off of those vendors that historically branded themselves as CMSs or web experience platforms, although Infotech does see a little bit of fuzziness in the boundaries of this category, and in some cases there's vendors coming more from a marketing automation or marketing orchestration branch that are also purporting to have DXP capabilities. When you look at the capabilities from a functional lens that a DXP provides, there's a few things that I'll call out here. So it has the ability to deliver different types of content assets to multiple devices or form factors. Again, it could be traditional desktop web, could also be mobile or social as well. Typically, these platforms provide the ability to build and deploy customer portals. These could be portals for B2B e-commerce, or they could be portals for customer service or customer care. Content personalization is something that we see a lot of DXP vendors focusing on. So based on traffic attributes or what we know about a customer, the ability to tailor content and experiences dynamically to specific audience traffic. Modern DXPs also provide an analytics engine, so you can analyze your web traffic to distill actionable insights from it. And most web experience and DXP vendors these days also provide pretty good integration with e-commerce platforms, as well as live chat applications or systems as well, to deliver those chatbot or conversational user interface type experiences. One thing that bears mention here is that this is a very fast-moving and constantly evolving category. I've been consistently impressed by the pace of innovation from vendors like Sitefinity in this space. As customer needs evolve, as technology shifts, you want to make sure you're working with a DXP partner that has a vision for the future and is continually investing in product innovation and building out new capabilities. As the number of channels proliferates, it's also important that you have a DXP vendor that is thinking about what are some of those emerging channels on the horizon that we might need to support. In the next slide, I'll go through a few of the key trends that Infotech has seen around the DXP space. At Infotech, we're constantly keeping our pulse on what are our members interested in when we talk about digital experience platforms. And as we canvassed our member base, as we conducted our research, we found that there was really 5 key areas of focus for our members when we talk about DXP trends and DXP evolution. The first is an explosion of interest in this concept of headless content management. Traditional CMS vendors focused on a WYSIWYG editor that would allow you to build and deploy static websites. Headless content management is really about curating content artifacts for deployment to a wide variety of different channels. This could be deployment to the traditional web, or it could be routing content to a native mobile application or a responsive design mobile site. Could even be deploying content to social media channels. So moving away from traditional content management and towards headless CMS is the first area we see a lot of our mid-market and up organizations starting to invest in. The second trend we see is an extreme degree of emphasis on application integration. So most digital experience platforms don't live in isolation. They exist as part of a broader ecosystem of enterprise applications, specifically customer experience applications. I often liken this to a hub and spoke model, where at the center of your customer experience ecosystem, you have a CRM or a customer relationship management platform or a customer data platform. Some of our larger members will even build out dedicated customer data warehouses. So you have to integrate your DXP with those other solutions in order to fully orchestrate omnichannel customer journeys. For example, if we want to drive a personalized experience on our website via a DXP, the attributes that we have about a customer after they've logged in probably reside in that back-end customer system of record. Similarly, we often see DXP platforms integrated with marketing automation or email marketing tools to allow for retargeting. So if someone lands on your website but they don't transact, if we're able to identify that traffic with a customer record, we can then send an email to that customer, basically offering them an incentive to convert. So modern vendors are really focusing on what is the application integration story. They're providing a flexible and composable integration architecture, and they're looking at open APIs to quickly and effectively shuttle data between the DXP and other enterprise systems. The third trend that we see, and again, this is one that's been materially uplifted as a result of COVID, is a increased emphasis on the web as a customer care or customer service channel. So when we need to handle customer service inquiries at scale, obviously the web is a great way to do that. And it alleviates the burden that we get through our contact centers if we're able to effectively address customer service concerns via the web. Now, specifically within the customer care arena, one thing that we're seeing a lot of these days is embedded live chat or conversational UI or chatbots. So the idea here is someone lands on your website, a little chat thing pops up, right? You're able to go into that and you can converse either with a live agent or with a bot that is able to quickly and effectively answer your inquiries. So conversational UI, chatbot specifically, is something that we've seen a market upswell of interest in the last 18 months. The other thing that we've seen a lot of interest around is customer service knowledge bases. So exposing knowledge for customer service resolution that maybe in the past was pointed solely at our internal agents and being able to deploy that effectively to external customers as well. E-commerce. So a lot of DXP vendors don't necessarily focus on native e-commerce, but they are looking to build strong partnerships with e-commerce specific vendors. So we've seen this as a specific concerted area of emphasis for many DXPs, thinking about what is that partnership, that integration story with e-commerce solutions. And once again, I suspect that a lot of that movement is due in no small part due to the pandemic. Organizations that used to sell products and services, through a store, brick and mortar retail, now obviously looking to move towards digital experiences and e-commerce to close some of that sales shortfall as a result of the pandemic. The fifth area that we see a very strong, very concerted emphasis on is customer intelligence. And certainly the web is a great place to capture behavioral signals from, to understand patterns about what's going on with our web traffic. Where do people tend to drop from our website? What is the path that they follow through the website? What does that look like? So a lot of modern DXP providers are also providing strong capabilities for embedded analytics. The idea here being that we can use all of this data that we're capturing from the web as a powerful mechanism for learning more about our customers. So selecting a strong DXP partner that capitalizes off of those 5 trends is obviously a cornerstone for success. But I would argue that selecting the right DXP partner is only half the battle. It's also important to think about what are the operational considerations that we need to be mindful of when we look to roll one of these solutions out, or how do we optimize our existing DXP environment. So in our research, we looked at, what are those pillars of success? What are some of the pitfalls that organizations need to avoid when they think about succeeding with their DXP environment? So let's talk through some of the key elements of success for getting the most value out of your DXP. So in our research, we've identified 5 key areas to focus on to succeed with DXP execution. The first is content is king. Even the best DXP in the world can't save you if you have poor web content. So when I think about a content strategy, the natural point that I start at is looking at who are my target customer personas. Who am I really trying to reach via the website? And what are their expectations around the content? Are they looking for highly technical content? Are they looking for lightweight marketing collateral? Do they prefer a lot of visual content, or would they prefer something that's text heavy? The next thing is looking at content cadence. So how often are we putting out new content? When are we doing our content updates? And very critically here, I would also emphasize this notion of content stewardship. Who in your organization actually owns the content? And do they have a clear formal mandate for keeping that content accurate and up to date? So as you look to roll out your DXP, make sure that you do have a concerted effort put on the content element first prior to deployment. And once again, focus first and foremost on target customer personas, then take a look at cadence. A lot of our members will also put together formal style guides that provide some best practices around things like brand voice or visual identity of content that we're putting on the web. The next thing that we want to take a look at is information architecture. So what does the taxonomy of our web presence or mobile presence look like? How are we structuring the information? What are the top levels of that taxonomy that someone sees when they land on the website? Once again, the notion of customer personas comes to the forefront. So when we talk about IA, there's this notion of persona-driven design. In other words, when you're looking at structuring content on your website, rather than having the structure of that content adhere to your own business units or product lines, think about who are the folks that are going to be landing on the website and how do we reframe the content around specific persona needs. In higher education, you'll find that this is a vertical that's really taken this notion of persona-centric design to heart, right? So oftentimes when you land on a college or university's website, they've got content curated for prospective students, for current students, for alumni. So looking at, again, who are those key personas and tailoring your taxonomic structure, your information architecture around that is a critical success factor. The third pillar is creating strong publishing workflows. So many organizations don't like to have a single bottleneck where IT or a content administrator is the only one that can make updates to the website. So replacing that centralized approach with a decentralized mechanism for content publishing is something that a lot of our members have had good success with. So different departments will have content owners, they make the site updates, and often there is some flavor of approval or moderation workflow where when a change is made to the site, it flows through to a central control point to verify that, again, this content meets our brand standards. But that individual is not a bottleneck in terms of they're making the changes directly to the site themselves. So a decentralized or a distributed approach to publishing workflows is something that many of our members have had very good success with. I mentioned earlier when we were talking about trends, the primacy of application integration. When you're looking at your DXP, take an enterprise architecture approach to how that DXP interoperates with other applications you have in your systems, or other systems rather that you need to tie that platform into. So an EA approach can really help you come up with a visual process and data flow map between your DXP and other important customer experience systems like marketing automation or CRM. Now, underpinning all of this, Infotech also recommends having a strong and concerted approach to governing your digital experience ecosystem. In many organizations, this takes the flavor of a steering committee or advisory board or center of excellence that has broad oversight over everything to do with your digital web experience. Typically, the composition of this advisory board, the steering committee, it encompasses both folks from the technical side, so IT, as well as business process leads across marketing, sales, and customer service. So this governance structure shouldn't be something that solely comprises the IT folks or solely comprises the marketing folks. Again, you want a good blend of the people that own the processes and customer journeys that our web presence is supporting, but also has the folks that have the technical acumen and the technical expertise as well. So by focusing on content, information architecture, publishing workflows, an EA approach to integration, and having a good, solid foundation from a governance lens, you're much more likely to unlock the full potential of your digital experience platform. So, a concluding thought, digital experience platforms are indispensable for delivering on an omnichannel approach to customer engagement. Digital experience has always been important, but now more than ever, the pandemic has significantly sharpened the need for both private and public sector organizations to actively invest in digital experience to meet the needs of their customers, constituents, and other external stakeholders. Having a DXP platform is critically important, and organizations are looking at trends in this space such as headless CMS, e-commerce integration, and broader application integration, customer care and chatbots, and also customer intelligence that can be delivered via these platforms. But outside of those technical trends, it's also critically important to have the organizational processes and discipline in place to successfully capitalize off of your DXP, such as a content is king mindset, looking at an EA approach to application integration, looking at publishing workflows, as well as looking at governance and information architecture on your website. I hope this webinar has been illustrative of some of the key trends that Infotech Research Group is seeing in the digital experience realm. And if there are any questions about this presentation or our research, please feel free to contact me at bdickey@infotech.com. Other than that, I hope that everyone has a fantastic rest of their day. And back over to you, Sean.
Thank you, Ben. That was great and very insightful. I'd like to now introduce Lino, who will discuss where to start amongst the billions of digital opportunities available to you.
Hello and welcome. I'm very excited to spend some time with you today to talk about something very close to my heart, digital experience. It doesn't really matter which CMS system you're using. It is not the issue. The issue is that I wanted to take some time to talk to you about the importance of thinking in a digital experience and a digital transformation way for the future. My name is Lino Tadros. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a principal cloud architect. I also work heavily for the last 5 years on AI, machine learning, and IoT as a solution architect. I have been a Microsoft MVP for 15 years, and currently I'm a Microsoft Regional Director. I'm also a Sitefinity MVP. I've been working with Sitefinity for over 18 years now. I'm also certified on Sitecore and other CMS systems as well. I am also currently a SmartWare community hero. I've actually written at least 14 books so far over the last 28 years. I also have multiple on-demand courses, technical on-demand courses available on Pluralsight and udemy.com as well. So the important part about what I wanted to discuss with you today is the new digital experience. There was time when we used to be very happy having a very elegant static website, maybe in the 1990s, having somebody that artistic to create very good themes, very good imagery, and make your site look very professional, pretty static. That was acceptable at that time. And then we moved into the era of dynamic sites, making sure the site is always fresh, still looking good, offering new fresh data every day when a customer comes to the site. But even that actually grew old after a while. The issue here is that major companies in the world right now do not want to make their data and their content the focus of their website. No, they want to actually make it based on the customer. The customer is the experience, not the website and not the data that you are trying to show. So when you take a look at the new digital experience in front of us right here, you will notice that there is growth through engagement, targeting, consistency, personalized experience, campaigns, conversion, personas. You're going to hear these words a lot. And you might actually be scared, saying like, okay, how do I start from all that stuff? Actually, it doesn't have to be that complicated. If you understand the fundamentals of what a customer experience is all about, I think you'll be very, very successful. So I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about what makes a customer experience. And I want to do that by giving you some examples, for instance. Let's take a company, for instance, like Progress. Progress have a lot of different products. Some of them are web-based, some are Windows-based, some are JavaScript-based, some are CMS like Sitefinity, for instance. And you're going to end up with probably around 20 to 25 different products that are major products for the company. So if I go to your website, let's say www.progress.com, and I'm, let's say, sitting here in Europe or in China or even maybe in the United States, and I visit your website, I'm going to probably get overwhelmed really quickly. If I click on products, you're going to see 20, 25 different products. What I'm really interested in, maybe I would like to take a look at the Kendo UI product. I have to go through a whole maze on the website to get to what I want. Maybe out of the 300 or 400 pages on the website, maybe there is 10 or 15 of them regarding Kendo UI. So now I have to read a little bit more, even though that's not my intention. I'll have to read about OpenEdge. I want to have to read about Sitefinity, about the components you have for ASP.NET, React, Vue, a lot of different things. So the issue here is that how can I actually tailor my website to the experience of my customers worldwide? If there's something special going on in China today, for instance, maybe it's the Chinese New Year. That doesn't mean that everybody else coming in from everywhere in the world needs to be told Happy Chinese New Year. Maybe I want to do that only for my Chinese customers. Maybe if somebody is being referred to progress.com from a specific site, maybe I want to welcome them from that area. Also, huge right now is the social media, being able to get to the Progress website, for instance, from Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter. All of these things might mean something to your marketing team. I want to focus my entire digital experience for my company based on that. And that is the important thing. Try to take a look at the CMS system out there. And there is a lot of different ones available out there. And Sitefinity is definitely one of them from Progress, where you can actually tailor the experience. If you go to Google or Bing or Yahoo and start searching for Kendo UI, for instance, and that actually takes you to a link directly into inside of the progress.com website. Could you change the experience from now on to focus on Kendo UI instead of actually bombarding you with 20 other products that you're probably not interested in right now? So we need to focus on what the customer experience is all about. So that's about personalization, being able to find out where you're coming from, that's a referrer, and also what is the landing pages that you're interested in, the time of day, the role of the person coming in, and I can actually put you in what we call a bucket. That bucket, in the real word for it is persona. So you might not log into my site. You might not be telling me who you are. Maybe I am Lino and I have an email address, but I did not log in yet to your website. But I keep hitting specific pages, I'm downloading videos, I'm downloading white papers and looking at blogs that they are all very specific to maybe Kendo UI or Sitefinity or components or something like that. So the intelligence of the customer experience of my application itself on the website needs to put me in a bucket. Let's say like this person that's surfing my website, even though I don't know who they are, but they are keeping going to pages and downloading videos and white papers and blogs regarding Kendo UI. So I'm going to put them in a bucket and call that bucket the persona of Kendo UI buyer. So right now I have a feeling that you might be somebody who's very interested to purchase my Kendo UI Pro version, for instance, or something like that. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. With that specific persona, I'm actually want to give you maybe a lead scoring. If you download the last 2 white papers on Kendo UI, I'm going to give you 50 points. If you're going to go ahead and watch the latest video on Kendo UI for 15 minutes, I'm going to give you 100 points. So I can keep giving you some points like this internally without you knowing about it until you hit something like maybe 500 points. That is a hot lead as far as I'm concerned. So if you are surfing, and remember, I still don't know who you are, I'm going to actually keep looking and saying, okay, this person collected 500 points based on touching points that they keep visiting and downloading and viewing things on the website. From that point on, I would like a chat window to come up. Now it's getting serious. I want to actually talk to that customer. So I'm going to open up a chat window and I'm saying, good morning. Hi, it looks like you're interested in Kendo UI. Can I actually schedule a meeting with one of our account executives to maybe answer your questions or give you a demo, private demo for for the product. And you might be shocked. It's like, well, I didn't even tell them who I am, and now the website found out that I'm interested about Kendo UI from what I visited and so on. And now they would like to actually go ahead and offer more to me than that. So maybe they will redirect you to a registration page where they can get your email address and your information, maybe your phone number, and actually be able to get in touch with you. So these are actions that you can actually take based on just navigating the site and trying to notice what you're interested in here and there to make it happen. Isn't that pretty cool? So in reality, if you take a look at the word customer experience, it is fundamental of how people should be able to actually build websites nowadays. If you take a look at all the major corporations in the world, whether it's the Amazons, the Microsoft, the Googles, the eBay, how they actually sell, you might be actually astonished to find out, like one day, for instance, you would go on the website, maybe go to target.com or walmart.com, and maybe you're looking for a coffee maker, right? And you didn't buy it, you're just looking at different ones, pricing on Walmart for coffee makers, and that's great. And then you shut down your browser, go away, have some lunch, come back later, and you open up your Facebook account. All of a sudden, on the Facebook, on the right side of the screen, there is a coffee maker for sale on Facebook with a link to it for $99.99. How did actually Facebook know that you were interested in a coffee maker? And sometimes it's creepy a little bit. Sometimes we go navigate a lot of different things on the website, and then we get into our social media, and right there, the things that we were interested in, whether it's a t-shirt, whether it's a coffee maker, whether it's a casserole for cooking, whatever it is, it's right there on our social media. How did they find all this stuff? That is one way of personalizing and customizing the system to be able to really pinpoint what customers are looking for. Maybe they're looking into your cookies on your machines, trying to figure out what you're looking for. And this stuff is all legal right now. There is nothing wrong with that. It is totally legal, and these companies will definitely do that. And this is how Microsoft and Amazon and eBay and all of these major corporations are spending a significant amount of money to tailor the experience to what customers are looking for. And that's called focus marketing. Customer experience is at the bottom of all of that. So let's take a look at the facets of how to deal with DXP. This is the digital experience platform. A lot of people actually mention the name as a digital transformation. How do you actually follow your customer's experience instead of actually giving you information that you might not be needing, or it's too much information for you right now? So everything starts with contacts. Notice nowadays people have major CRM system. Maybe you're using Salesforce, Microsoft Dynamics, or any of the other CRM system available in the world. So you already have a major database with all your contacts and people you do work with as far as customers. We're not going to start from the beginning on your new website to learn about your customers. You already have a major gold mine of contacts inside of your CRM. So we need to really join the two together, and definitely there is a way to do that. Also, personas. Like I said, you might create a virtual persona by saying this is a Kendo UI buyer, this is maybe a gold or a platinum member persona, or this is a Sitefinity persona, somebody that might be a buyer for Sitefinity and so on. So you can create personas. We're not going to go crazy and create hundreds and hundreds of different personas, but for a website, sometimes anywhere between 5, 10, 15, even 20 personas might work, but you're not going to create hundreds and hundreds of personas. That might not make sense. Also, these different CMS systems in the world right now will have something called lead scoring. So you actually can create a hot lead, a cold lead. You can create a lot of different levels of lead scoring. It means when you collect enough points for me, I want to put you in a different bucket. If you're going to download white papers, see a couple of blogs, see some news, view 3 or 4 videos, you're going to keep accumulating these points. And then when you hit like 500 or 1,000 points, you getting serious as far as I'm concerned. My salespeople would like to know you better. We would like to bring up a chat window. We would like to actually offer you a registration page, which I can get your email address, and now I can send you a newsletter or send you an email welcoming you to my website and so on. Touch points, this is something you're going to hear a lot in the industry, especially in the digital experience. Touch points means I would like to create a specific landing page or a video or a white paper or a news to be a touch point. And the reason this is very important is because I would like to have an experience associated with multiple touch points. So each and every single one of these touch points is very important. If you view this video, that's a touch point. They visited that URL. I want to actually accumulate that. So if you do these 5 or 6 different touch points, I definitely would like to get you to the point where I will know you better. I know what you're interested in. You can be a more serious buyer for my company by actually watching your touch points on the system. Also, when we talk about campaigns and conversions in any of the CMS systems, for instance, the idea here is to converge. Let's say, for instance, you're an insurance company and you have a free model, and also you have silver, gold, and platinum models. So the first one is free, but you have to actually pay to be a member to be silver, gold, or platinum, and it gets more expensive going on. So the company's model is that we would love for you to come to, at the end, become a platinum member of our insurance company and so on, which would cost a little bit more money. So you will create campaigns, and these campaigns is try to behoove you to become a paid member instead of being a free member. That means we're going to be able to set conversions. So the system will work on its own to be able to find out, if I get you to the point where you get to this specific page, that means you're already a platinum member. That page is only available for people with the role of platinum member. So I know what the goal of the conversion is. So maybe I can set campaigns, maybe right before Christmas, I'll give you 50% off if you register for Platinum today. All of these things are touch points available on the website. So I can create a conversion saying, I know what the conversion is going to be successful. If you're on that page, you got converted, because there's no way you can get to this page unless you actually registered, paid, and got approved. Now you are in this role. So I know exactly how to measure that. Campaigns could be, like I said, could be things that you can send to the customer, could be specific pages to behoove you to move forward and become a paid customer. All of these are very important. The next thing that you will see in a lot of the different CMS systems around the world is something, the word attributions. It is important for a marketing team. All the stuff that I'm talking about right now, you do not want to do this manually. Oh, that's a huge amount of work for a marketing team to keep dealing with all of these contacts and personas and touch points and campaigns and conversions manually and keep changing that every day, possibly. You want the system to build all this information on its own and keep getting more and more data. Data is king when it comes to digital experience. Not only that, but you will find out later on when we start talking about artificial intelligence and machine learning, AI and ML doesn't work with small amount of data sets. It requires significant amount of data to be able to give you predictable results for AI and ML. So the more we let the system run, the more it's going to get better and better in being able to recommend different products for the customers based on where they visited, give them an idea, for instance, where they can go, get a specific campaign or a conversion for a specific customers without us being babysitting the website every day. That will be way too much work. Attribution, like I said, is extremely important. It is important for a marketing team to know, for instance, what caused people to get to the platinum member for the insurance company. What did we do that changed things? You see, we had these videos and white papers, and we had maybe a 20% conversion. Once we added that new blog, it jumped to 35% people now when they see this blog. That means I would like to think that this blog and the content in this blog has a major attribution to converting people to become a platinum member and pay the fees to become a platinum member. So attribution is very important. I wanted to really figure out what actually makes the site kick and what makes people go ahead and take an action that is good for the company. So attributions are extremely important, and that's something that you really need to focus on. And hopefully the AI and machine learning can actually give you a recommendation for attribution, saying after maybe running the site for 2 or 3 months, you can come back and say, you know what? The system is recommending for us to add a blog, because when we added a blog about the subject, it was read by 100,000 people, and that made a lot of people convert. So maybe if I want the gold to work as well, maybe I should have another blog about the gold insurance membership plan that we have. So all of these are definitely very, very important. So at the end, I just wanted to share with you is like, what is it really that you need to do to start today? I mean, maybe this is all very complicated. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know even where to start. Well, it is not that complicated. Everything starts from people, visitors, contacts. So being able to connect to your CRM system, for instance, I'll give you an example. Let's say, for instance, the CRM system, like say Salesforce or Dynamics, for instance, have a record for Lino. Lino is married, have kids, likes to go to Lake Tahoe and do some skiing. It's not true, but that's okay. Nobody will ever want to see me skiing. But let's say I have all this information. That information will not be available, for instance, in my database for the website, whether I'm using Sitefinity or Sitecore or Kenticore or any of these different systems. Why would this be very important, for instance? Can I actually change my homepage once I log in, for instance, and the system on my website found out that this is Lino, the Lino that I have in my CRM. And Lino loves skiing in Lake Tahoe. Maybe I want to change the slider to give some pictures of Lake Tahoe skiing resorts. That makes me feel a little bit more comfortable with the website, you see? So you can actually tailor things, the images and the slider, for instance. Things that I like. If I have kids, for instance, maybe I would like to show you something that will make it a little bit more interesting for people with kids. So you can imagine the amount of information that you can grab from your CRM system that will tell you more about this customer that you might not have actually in your own database for the website itself, and then tailor all the stuff on the fly. And products like Sitefinity can definitely do that for you. So it's really extremely powerful to be able to do that. So I really want to leave you with the notion of don't be scared of digital experience. Every enterprise is really seeking to actually use their entire website based on customer experience. And there's a way to do it. There are training classes for it. I am actually proud to be one of the people that actually teach digital experience. We have a class every month on Sitefinity to show you something called Sitefinity Insight, where we show you how to create contacts, connect the contacts, personas, lead scoring, touch points, conversion. So if you would like to learn more, we will be more than happy to have you in our monthly training to show you Sitefinity Insight and how we can set up the whole system for the best performance possible for a marketing team and for the business of your corporation. Thank you so much for bearing with me here for the last maybe 20-25 minutes, and I hope you enjoyed this talk, and hopefully to see you again in other talks in the future. Have a great one.
Thanks, Lino. That was a great demonstration. We know that digital experiences are a competitive differentiator, certainly today more than ever. Visitors will abandon a company or brand that they love if they have a series of bad digital interactions with them. So it's key to deliver that consistent, contextualized, personalized experience across your channels. So along with that theme, I'd love to share a very practical and proven approach to digital experience management that Progress has really taken a hold of, and is excited to even share some new release announcements today with you. And with that, I will be introducing Sitefinity DX. We talked about the growing and evolving expectations at a rapid pace. And these market demands for digital experiences are going to be constantly changing. It's not just the rapid shift in consumer expectations that has happened over the last 12 to 18 months, and then it'll kind of slow down or stop. This is something that's going to continue to evolve and continue to change. One thing that we pay very close attention to is listening from our customers and hearing from the market what their expectations are. And we had run a survey earlier in the year to help validate some of the expectations, areas of investment based off of needs, challenges, opportunities for organizations that we serve and are able to serve within the market. And our customers are certainly realize that there are key digital marketing imperatives. When you look at some of the key areas of focus, internal process, so in automating overall operations and in automation was key. E-commerce, being able to look at both B2B, B2C, and at different levels of commerce transaction is an area of investment that came in just as closely as internal process automation. Multi-channel and omni-channel interaction management, and data aggregation, analytics, and insights are really those four key imperatives that we distilled from our survey that we ran earlier this year. Okay, so overall, organizations are needing to adapt the technology that powers those digital experiences quickly and easily. And what does that really mean? The digital experience goals of organizations are evolving. And when you look at some of the key areas of goals and what organizations are seeking from a digital experience program, innovating and delivering on new products and services is first and foremost. But they're looking for that solution to also improve their agility and flexibility and reduce costs, essentially focusing on employee efficiency. So how do we deliver more with less is really kind of the common theme that we've seen here with organizations that we looked at with this poll. How do we leverage a solution that can scale to our business and with the time within the quick speed to market and with the resources and the budget that we have currently at play. So you have these technology and organizational barriers here. 47% were around complexities of internal and external integrations, being able to connect multiple data sources, and about half citing a technology barrier around the excessive customization. So you have really technology barriers on being able to connect the core systems that are requisite of delivering a digital experience together, and really the implementation, the integration that goes along with customizing the solution for their business's needs. Organizational barriers, this idea of a phased approach to implementation sometimes requires too much time in terms of the speed to market that they are looking to achieve. The solutions, the off-the-shelf digital marketing platform solutions are cost prohibitive for many organizations, and sometimes even too feature rich based on what they specifically need from a digital experience capability. And many companies lack the necessary resources and strategic guidance from an overall delivery model perspective. So you have these technology barriers around the complexity with integrations and the need for customization. This long phased approach that it takes to kind of get there based off of the traditional implementation models and delivery system that's out there, and just at costs that are sometimes too high. So what we see happening really within 2021 and moving into next year are key capability needs that have been highlighted through the research that we've done, which very much aligns with what Ben Dickey from Infotech had been providing research and data on in terms of those key areas of investment. Being able to deliver that unified and consistent brand experience across channels, being able to analyze the performance of those channels collectively so that we can get a good view of delivered business value from a digital experience platform across those different systems. Improving overall just customer acquisition and retention through stronger engagement, stronger conversion optimization, process automation, how we can build efficiency gains using one cohesive platform to deliver this in, as well as self-service functionality for improved customer care. How can we start to lower the cost on behalf of cost centers like customer service and other overhead areas that could be offset by some of the online digital experience self-service functionality that from the program. So many of these areas are powered by investments in multi-channel and headless digital experience, being able to more easily design and deliver an experience within one central platform that gets easily distributed to additional touch points and channels that become available, being able to quickly analyze and gain insights from the performance of those channels, how we can improve customer acquisition and retention through testing and optimization and personalization, being able to leverage low-code integration, a lower barrier of implementation costs that come along with more seamless integrations that allow for employee efficiency, as well as looking at chat and a lot of the new AI-driven and chat-enabled interactions that today's consumers and users seek for interacting with an organization. But there are just billions of digital opportunities at your fingertips, and we believe that with Sitefinity DX 14, which is our latest release we're putting into market, we've focused on the ones that are going to deliver the most return on investment based on all of these different opportunities that we've looked at. At the core, there is a Sitefinity CMS, the core content management platform functionality. That, along with Sitefinity Insight, which is really the marketer's tool set to optimize, to deliver personalization, and to understand insights and attribution reporting from customer engagement using those optimization tools is really at the core, and it's offered certainly within the cloud. But we have many additional capabilities that have been that have had accelerated investments in these different areas of headless, focusing more on API driven headless integration capabilities for more flexibility, for improved speed to market, decoupling the .NET Core front end of our architecture for a simplified and more efficient integration purposes. We have a low-code integration hub, again, focusing on improved implementation and efficiency. Connections into social networks, CRM and marketing automation platforms, which is really our API-driven capability for third-party systems, as well as looking at how the overall Progress ecosystem of capabilities, such as native chat, premium search. We have better integrated capabilities around digital decisioning with our Corticon product, are areas that we believe our customers can take advantage of both quickly and within a very cost-effective way by using these capabilities from one vendor within the Progress umbrella. So Sitefinity DX, as we look at it with 14.0, is extremely flexible from an integration standpoint, very scalable in terms of having the capabilities that can meet your digital experience feature and requirement needs, as well as the agility to move quickly with low-code integration and with headless. So in grouping kind of these capabilities into 4 different buckets, it's largely a focus on multi-channel experience management with 14 and simplified integration through low code, but also pushing that capability at scale and through global content delivery, which we've had the opportunity to see many customers over the past year take advantage of these capabilities and pushing their digital experiences at global scale across all of their different organizational and geographical units. Continued focus on this data-driven marketing optimization strategy with Sitefinity Insight, and being able to use the best tools that are out there and being able to integrate them in, as well as the native digital marketing optimization capabilities with the product. Multi-channel experience management is largely focusing on the improvements around the headless part of Sitefinity. So while we're not aiming to release a purely a headless product at this point, Sitefinity is inherently a platform that is easily open to connect to other systems, and is something that is very much been a headless at the core. And we're going to make all headless APIs more performant by extending things like caching, existing page layout page layouts and APIs more robust to augment with personalization and metadata. We're also revising and improving headless API documentation and providing better samples to provide an easier start to those developing against these APIs maybe for the first time. So that's largely the extent of the expected headless improvements, and all that is going to be in this 14.0 release for the headless capability. And along with multi-channel management, we do put a big focus on native chat. So being able to seamlessly integrate an AI-driven chatbot platform to really drive prospects and customers toward a positive outcome was key to some of those key needs around efficiency, self-service, from the research data that we had shared from our survey. Low-code system integration is key to being able to focus on quality and enabling customers to build effective DXP solutions. So our integration support and interoperability is very much centered around this low code approach, which is really a powerful pattern of service hooks. So that allows attaching an action to a functional trigger. As examples of triggers, we can look at the creation or publishing of content, users logging in or filling out a form, etc. And an action is really that arbitrary webhook that will send essentially a command to that other service. So really focusing on service hooks as the way that Sitefinity interoperates with middleware and with other marketing technology platforms as part of just the overall stack is key to our low code integration capability. So we've essentially made it easier than ever to connect Sitefinity to other platforms via service hooks, and helping organizations automate those marketing operations, which was a key need called out within our research, so that you can more quickly and easily publish across to different channels, while also collecting and bringing back that customer engagement data to make key decisions for optimization and personalization, content management decisions within the Sitefinity platform. All of this we want to be able to reinforce to our customers that that they're able to do this at global scale. So content at scale through SiteSync and user groups is absolutely one of the areas that many of our customers are quickly taking advantage of now as they seek to expand their digital footprint across all touch points and leverage the platform to reach customers at scale through streamlined content delivery. Typically leveraging a large volume of content across departments, across business units, brands, and so on. So a SiteSync is essentially allowing our customers to manage all of this, deliver all of this at scale and through a way that is much more automated from a business operations standpoint. And finally, and really at the forefront of our, I think our value to organizations is largely on being able to measure and to deliver digital experiences that are contextualized, that are optimized, leveraging data. So the tracking of complex and external touch points that span across multiple sessions for a user, as well as multi-touch, multi-channel campaigns is sometimes very tough from an attribution perspective. Sitefinity Insight allows for the data capture, the attribution and analysis in a very, very simplified and easy way, in terms of being able to set up campaigns, track them, and bring that data back in for attribution and analysis very, very very quickly. It's something that is at the core of Sitefinity Insight, and something that we're continuing to leverage for global content programs at scale that are personalized and contextualized. So this is our approach to satisfying some of those core needs of being able to deliver and innovate on products and services, do so in a way that is less complex through low-code integration, that is done at an overall cost-effective way for organizations that are trying to get this done quickly and do it within the confines of their budget. The value that we see delivered for both the marketing organization and the IT organization, who are working hand in hand in these digital experience programs, is I think very, very well balanced. When you look at the total economic impact of Sitefinity, a return of 245% on average was research that was done by Forrester in conjunction with a study with them on the total economic impact of Sitefinity as a solution for customer programs who have leveraged it, meaning they've been able to increase their overall delivered business and engagement value, while improving operational efficiency and getting to market quicker and reducing the overall total cost of ownership. When you break that all down, it comes down to essentially being able to go to market more quickly and deliver more value through highly usable, data-driven, multi-channel digital experience capabilities. We think we have without a doubt, one of the most user-friendly and intuitive digital marketing platforms out there in terms of content management and digital experience, platform functionality. It is a system that's focused on continuous improvement, and through data-driven marketing insights and optimization, can do it at scale and can do it across channels. For IT, just again, the ability for composability, headless, low-code integration, and done on a cloud-driven infrastructure is something that IT departments very much derive value from, as it helps them reduce overhead and improve efficiency through a secure, adaptable, composable architecture for their digital experience platform. As we look ahead into later this year and into 2022, we will be focused on evolving some of these areas even further, specifically around AI and further improving the marketer's experience editing interface, as well as building out even more expansive and tighter existing integrations for things like digital asset management and other areas of the MarTech stack that Sitefinity interoperates within. So lots of really exciting things happening with Sitefinity 14.0. I want to thank, first and foremost, all of you for your time in attending today. Our presenters, Lino and Ben, for joining us today. And any questions on the specific presentation content on Sitefinity, we very much look forward to getting in touch. Please visit us at progress.com/Sitefinity-CMS. We'd very much look forward to getting in touch, reconnecting. And again, thank you for your time today.